This phone launched in China a little while back as the IQOO Neo 6 SC, but in other markets including India, IQOO has decided to call it the Neo 6. Now I've been using this Neo 6 as my primary for almost a week, and in today's video let's see if this is a phone worth paying attention to. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do find this video useful, leave a like, drop a comment, get subscribed. Let's get started. The Neo 6 isn't the flashiest phone you're gonna see. This variant, it's called Dark Nova. The back catches light quite nicely, but it doesn't come across as flamboyant. In fact, one could say it's a little muted. Well, I'd call it refined. This glass back here, it has a matte finish which makes it pretty resistant to fingerprints and smudges. That said, at the end of the day, it still is smooth, slippery glass, so you might want to use the Neo 6 with the case more often than not. And for what it's worth, IQOO does include a basic soft case in the box. Now, if you want something a little flashier, then that's the more colorful Cyber Rage. Regardless of which one you end up choosing, what you're getting is a glass sandwich built with a plastic frame. The Neo 6 weighs in at 190 grams and is 8.54 millimeters thick, so not too heavy, not too thick. But this comes at a cost. In this segment, we usually find 5000 mAh batteries. The Neo 6 is a little lighter on that front. We instead get a 4700 mAh unit. That said, the battery life was pretty great for me. I usually ended my days with my regular kind of moderate use with 30% or more left in the tank. If you do need a quick top up, there's a 80 watt flash charger included in the box which should get you from 0 to 50 in just 12 minutes. From a performance perspective, the Neo 6 is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 870 SoC. The 870 is basically a fine-tuned Snapdragon 865, which was Qualcomm's flagship chip for 2020. So yeah, it's not the latest chip, but it's been around long enough that you can say it's tried and tested. Brands have gotten the cooling part sorted. Here, IQOO's gone for what they're calling a cascade cooling system, 5 layers of graphite cooling plates alongside a large vapor chamber. Even with tasks like gaming for extended periods of time, the Neo 6 did not exhibit signs of overheating. Just look at the stability score on 3D Mark Wildlife. 84% after 20 loops. This was on Monster Mode 2, IQOO's performance mode. Phones with current gen SoCs usually get stability scores of 50-60%. So this is the tried and tested part of the 870 that I was talking about. Even with a CPU throttle test, once again with Monster Mode on, performance remains at almost 90%, which is excellent. Other specs include 8 or 12 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM paired with 128 or 256 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage, part of which can be repurposed as extended RAM if you need it. Talking about software features, this here is FunTouchOS 12 built on top of Android 12. FunTouchOS comes with a lot of bells and whistles, whether it's animations for touch or unlock. There's a lot of customization you can do. Then there is the Ultra Game mode with the regular functionality we've come to expect. Despite having a lot of features built into it, FunTouchOS on the Neo 6 is pretty responsive. The smoothness you see here is also thanks to the high refresh 120Hz display and the 360Hz touch sampling. And that is what we're going to talk about next, the display. This here is a 6.62-inch E4 AMOLED panel. The resolution is Full HD+. This display covers 103% of the NTSC color gamut. We have wideband L1 support and the brightness peaks at 1300 nits. So usage outdoors shouldn't be an issue. Guys, this is a beautiful panel, which coupled with the stereo speakers makes the Neo 6 excellent for media consumption. That's it. There is no headphone jack or micro SD though. Anyways, under this display is an optical fingerprint scanner which works as expected. The other biometric option is face unlock via that 16 megapixel f2 selfie camera, which was just as responsive. Talking about the selfie camera, the actual selfies themselves turned out quite nice, well exposed with ample detail. IQOO also offers some fancy filters and such. This, for example, is their pop art filter. Nice stuff. The app has a lot of functionality built in. You can shoot video via both the front and rear cameras at once. The rear camera tops out at 4K 60 and the footage pretty good. No frame drops, well detailed. Now let's take a minute to talk about the rear camera array. This is a triple camera setup with a token super macro making up sensor number 3. Ignoring that, let's pay attention to the other two. Primary, it's the Samsung ISOCELL Bright GW1P, a 64 megapixel sensor that's paired with an f1.89 lens, which happens to be optically stabilized. Images are pleasant to look at with good levels of detail and excellent dynamic range. The colors are also pretty close to natural. Under good light, the GW1P fares well. The secondary is a 8 megapixel ultra wide, which is serviceable. It doesn't match colors with the primary, but produces usable ultra wide images. Under low light, the dedicated night mode helps the Neo 6 continue to perform well. I'm not gonna call it best in class or anything, but as you can see, it is pretty good. So overall, the Neo 6, it seems to be an interesting smartphone. iQOO's gotten a lot right here with this one, but there is one big caveat. Now, the rumored price tag, it's expected to be 35,000 rupees-ish. At that price point, this phone, it finds itself a lot of competition. It's going to be going up against the likes of the Realme GT2 and the Xiaomi 11T Pro, phones with a generation newer Qualcomm chips. I mean, even the Neo 3 and the OnePlus 10R aren't that far off. And while they don't offer Qualcomm chips, they do offer the newest, almost flagship Dimensity 8100 and 8100 Max respectively. So the answer to the should you buy it question, it's gonna depend on what exactly the starting price of this phone is. Guys, like I said at the start of this video, this Neo 6 is basically the Neo 6 SE from China. And that phone, the Neo 6 SE, it launched at 1999 RMB in China. Now, if this, let's say, call it the global Neo 6, if this one ends up being priced even 20% higher than that, this is an easy recommend. But if it ends up being priced over 35K, as with the rumors, as good as this phone is, the competition just has way more to offer. Now anyways, by the time you're watching this video, you will probably know the official pricing. If you don't, check the description or the pinned comment, I'll leave it there. So let me know, what do you think about the pricing? Is the Neo 6 a phone you would be interested in getting? Also, would you like to see this compared against any of the phones that I just mentioned? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about this video. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And I guess that's pretty much it for my review. Until next time, my name's Ash, you've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day.